everyone, welcome to another Match with the Average Angler. We are at Acorn. I haven't been here for a month, so it feels like an alien to me. Drawn peg 6. I'm kind of on a bridge, which I'm normally on a bridge, but the bridge is sort of 14.5 metres out there, 13 metres, 14.5 metres high at it. I'm not really fishing to it today. I'm not going to fish to here, I'm going to fish to here, around this point. I've got another little rig to set to fish in here and in these little nooks and holes. I'm looking to fish just hard pellet today. It's a bit of a gamble. Fishery hasn't been fishing like super positive, but I'm just going to be positive. So I've got a rig set up just to fish in front of me here, which will be your start and finish on the bottom of the slope, and then over there I've got, in the really shallow water, sort of 10 inches deep, I'm going to tap some hard pellets in over there as well and just see how we go. So 6 mils, 4 mils, and I have got some expander for the hook, because I do like my expander for the hook, and then Acorn is good with the expander on the hook for some reason. The sun's probably going to come around and get right in my eyes and annoy me, but that's just what happens when you're on this bank here at Acorn. So there we are. It's a Tuesday affordable open. There's 25 on it, which is quite a lot. Normally 20, 21, 22 sort of maximum that you'd like to have on here. So 25, there's a lot of anglers on it, so it could fish hard. So it's the 4th day in a row it's had a match on it, so we'll see how it holds up. Catch you in a bit. Right guys, we're literally 4 minutes in. I'm on my second put short on this pole line, top getting one. Tapped in some 6 mils and a big 6 mil expander over the top just to see if I could catch anything that was down there. We had an indication on the first put in, which we missed. I'm back in, tapped 3 more pellets in. Had one. Nice start. There's like a smallish carp, maybe a tench, maybe a big tench, or a small carp, this sort of weight slightly. There we go, straight off the bat, 3 pounder. Let's just check his weight, so we're going to have to. This is 4 on the right way. Can't get him out. Couldn't get him out there. No, that's a nice start. We'll get clicker's not even on the bracket yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I think he's more like a 3 pounder, but sometimes I'll just round it up. There we are, that's a good start. These expanders, I'll do them this morning quickly, they're not quite fully expanded yet. Still hard in the middle, so I'm having to nick them in a funny way. I'm just putting 3 more hard pellets on there. That's a nice little start. Flip the rig out, pass, so it comes back in on the bottom of the slope. Tip the bait in. Hold the rig right over the top of it. It's the bottom of the near slope. It's like a couple of inches shallower there. It sort of flattens out, and then I've just come back so that the float's like half an inch to an inch shallower, so I'm on that slightly firmer bottom. Like I say, I've had 2 put-ins so far, and both times I've had a bite. So that's good. Guys, we're about 50 minutes in. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm not too much wind noise and muffled stuff going on, because there's all sorts happening. This is the 3rd fish I've hooked. I've landed 2 carp, both about 4 pound. And like I say, it's really windy, so if you're getting wind noise, I apologise, but there's not a lot I can do about it. And I've just hooked this one again, still short. I was just thinking about coming off it, thinking, oh, maybe it's done now for the first hour, but he's landed here and he feels like a bigger one. He's gone off. I think he's a bigger one, so he might weigh as much as the other 2 combined. This one, if I can get him out. He's definitely up in the mouth. I'm just seeing him come up. That's nice. That's number 3. He's more like a 6 or 7 pounder, this one. 6 on the scales. So it puts us on £14. The fish are coming out, no one's absolutely emptying it. People are having odd carp though. Most people who are catching carp are catching them in the deep water, so I'm reluctant to go longer and start messing about in the shallow water. I've got rigs for the shallow water, but got a cold wind and I'm not sure if that's what they want. Still just tapping in 6 mils, and I've got the big. I did try a 6 mil on a band, and I've had a bite on it. Hard 6 mil on a band, and I've not had a bite or an indication on it. So I've gone back to the expander and I've had it. I do like the expander. I think there's a hook bait here, like Acorn. Don't know why, but it does seem to catch you a few fish. A lot of places you avoid the expander because there's too many smaller bitty bobby fish that really pester it and do your head in, so to speak. But I mean, there are skimmers and big roach and stuff like that in here, but they don't tend to bother you too much with a big expander on. And the skimmers, you don't mind catching skimmers anyway, so that's fine. So I'm definitely going to give it another 10 or 15 minutes now. What I was going to do was I wasn't going to go over long and fish in the shallow water. I still feel like that's not quite right yet. Maybe if the sun stays out and the fish come a bit shallow later or down the edges, I don't know. But I was just going to replumb this rig or find the same depth over on the far bank and perhaps fish the same but on the opposite bank. With this rig like fishing just up the opposite slope, so where it comes back up again, I'm finding a similar depth and just fishing it there, because a lot of people that have caught around me and they've caught carp have caught in the open water. People have trying to fish over. The wind's getting ridiculous now, so don't really want to be getting involved in fishing long. 2 hour update. The short line stopped producing. I've had 3 on it in total. I think you've seen 2 of them. And so I've just gone out onto this longer line here, which is like my number 6 joint in my hand. It's the same depth pretty much as where I've been fishing short. Tapped in some 6 mils, gone over it, waited sort of 5 minutes, had a carp about £3 on it. I've had a couple of indications since, but I've not hooked anything. I've had one carp come in and sort of nose the float, but really, really shallow, which is, you know, typical Acorn. The carp do like to swim around shallow all over the place. I'm resisting the urge to go across, but I will if this doesn't give me another bite in sort of the next 20 minutes. There's an indication there then. But I'm just tapping in 6 mils at the minute and fishing a large expander on it again. I might try tapping in some 4 mils in a minute just to see if it makes any difference. But I don't think it will. Just think the fish are not feeding a lot. I'm not watching anybody bag up, even on the flyers. So I'm being cautious. I've got about £15. I think I got 17 on my clicker, but I've been a bit cautious with it. There's a little bite there then, could have been a liner. I'm going to feed. I'll put more 3 pellets in, because I've had an indication there's some fish in and around the area. Put 4 went in there then. That's fine. Wet it slightly so they all sink. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I've got about £15. I've got 17 on my clicker, but I'm always cautious with my clicker, so I think I've got about 15. 4 carp for about £15. I'm not winning or anything, but I'm in the mix at the minute. I'm in a good peg, but I'm in a good peg on a really good section. That's the thing. There's no sections today, but this will be a section on Saturday. So one of the reasons I've come out today is because I'm in the league Saturday and I want to catch a few, get some confidence up and just see how it's fishing and what's working and what's not. and so I've come out today for that reason. You know, that's my main reason for being out, as well as just having a day's fishing and hopefully trying to win some coin if I can. But if I was on this peg in the spring league, I wouldn't be so happy, because it's a good peg, but it's in like a very, very strong section with lots of better pegs, like pegs 1 to 5. You know, pegs 9, 11, they're 12 or 13 usually. I don't know if it's 12 or 13 they put in. They're all brilliant pegs. This peg's hard to, it's hard to get a result from this peg in this section. So there we are, there's a carp down. I thought there was one down there because I've had a few indications. It's foul looked. A couple of foul lookers I've had down the middle there. Yeah, I've got a scale back look. This foul looked. I wondered, it was a slow bite. I did wonder. Telling me these carp don't quite want to be in this depth of water. But you get this a lot at Acorn, you can't read too much into it. Just be a drive-by. What we call a drive-by, where they just literally swam into the line. Yeah, so if I draw this peg Saturday, I won't be over the moon about it. But like I say, I'm in the mix, which is, so I'm doing well off it really. Hoping that's a reflection of my tactics. I'm fishing hard pellet. I'm trying to fish just for hard pellet today, as I've already said. And just be quite positive, quite early. It's freezing, the wind's freezing. I've sort of done all my short line, or the best that I think I can do on a short line for now. Stop feeding that. I don't carry on feeding the short line once you come off it. Just let it, little liner there. Then just letting it rest in that short line now. And if I'll probably go back on it in the last hour in the hope of catching some late fish that might be on the feed. You don't need to keep feeding the short line for some reason. It works better if you don't. And so I'm just going to this long line, and again I hadn't fed it before I went on it. I just put in sort of 8 or 9 6 mils, and I went and had a wee. Come back, when I went back out, and I went on top of it, 3 pellets, bang, a bad one. And then I've just been potting out and waiting until I get some indications, and if I had a couple of indications, then I'll go back out and pot a couple more pellets in, if I ain't had a bite. And then you just see me hook. Actually, that's the second one I foul up now on this line. Oh no, it's not. It's the first one I foul up. I foul up one short as well. But. So it's not to say that fish wasn't on the bottom feeding, and I've just foul upped it because it swam into the line. Who knows? But I might try a hard 6. I might actually try a hard 6 on the hooking unit on this line. Right, 3-hour update. I have tried to go over against the bridge. I just can't hold a rig there with any degree of presentation. So I've abandoned it as a bad idea. I'm just going to stick on my middle lines and my short line for a while. Going back out on this middle line after a bit of a break off it. We're just past the halfway point, like 20 minutes or so past the middle of the match now. And I've got about £20, low £20 on the clicker. Not £21 perhaps, something like that. I've had a few small carp. On this line that I'm on now. I had a little run of 3 or 4 of them in 3 or 4 puts. All sort of 3 pounders. All put more than £3 category, I think. And then they were gone again. I fouled up a couple after that. And that's been it really. I ain't been able to get anything else good. So I thought I'll go over to the. I've got a rig set up for it on the far bank. of delicate float for fishing in the really shallow water, but I can't fish it because the wind's just too ferocious. I can't have a short lash to hold it in place, and a long lash, the wind just blows the float out of place on the long lash, so I'm screwed all ends up on it really, and it's going to get tangled in the grass and it's just going to be a disaster. So I've given up on that pretty quickly. Hopefully the wind's not causing you too much grief, because the wind there's definitely picked back up again in the last 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to give this another 20 minutes before I sort of make any decisions about what else I might want to do. I feel like it's a bit too early to come back on the short line and fish the margin. It's not really a fish the margin kind of day. I don't really know where I'm going from here at the moment. I might have to set up another rig, fish against the bridge. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely carp in this swim, but none of them are on the bottom. It's just trying to find a depth that I can catch a few in. Perhaps I need to set up another short line down to my left or down to my right. And it's in the depth to what I'm fishing now, or slightly shallower. Only time will tell. I'm going to see how I feel about that as we go forward. Floats up and down like a yo-yo at the minute, but I'm sure a lot of that's liners and the wind is and the back shots sometimes are registering, sometimes aren't. But the bites that I have had today have been pretty positive from the fish that I've caught, so I'm not worried about these being subtle bites from fish. They're not. It's just a windier and windier day as the day's gone on. Hey guys, welcome to the 4-hour update. I'm down the middle still. I put some 4mm pellets in, and I did have a little run of 1 or 2 little fish, sort of a couple of little carp. It was, I could see there was fish there, but I just couldn't catch anything. I messed about with different sized pellets and whatnot. Put a different side. I've gone down a hook length side and put a smaller hook on, and I'm still wasn't really catching. So what I've done instead is started tapping some maggots in. I've tapped in 2 lots of maggots now, and each time I've tapped some maggots in, I've sat over it and waited for a while, and I've had a bite. I've had a nice roach, a good sized roach, and a little tench, a bar soap tench. So I wonder if that's what was there all along, was silverfish, because there were signs of fish there, but they weren't having the larger, the larger up baits that I had on. So I've got 2 hours to go, and I'm thinking I'm going to give this at least half an hour now, just see how it develops, before I start coming in back onto this short line and start trying to have a good finish on the carp, the bigger carp. And I've got my margin to my right. I'm going to have a look down there as well, see if I can nick a couple of bigger carp at the end on either of those 2 lines. But for now, I'm just going to see if I can see what happens. Like I say, it's a good little experiment just to see what might happen Saturday. If tapping maggots down the middle is an option for sort of catching everything. It seems like tapping pellets has worked as a good start point. And then you've got to sort of tap some maggots in after that in order to sorry, I'll keep looking to my left because the guy next to me has just caught a nice carp. Keep tapping different baits in basically, and just seeing what's making the difference, and see whether or not I can work something out for something that I'll have some confidence in Saturday. So that's where we're at. It's not fast and furious, as you can see. I'm not putting loads and loads of bait in. I might give this 10 or 15 minutes, and then I might experiment by big potting. I might big pot some maggots and casters down this hole. I say maggots and casters, it's maggots, but some of them are turning because they're old maggots now, so they need using up anyway. So I won't lose out by putting some down this hole. But just before I come short, and it might come good. You just don't know. I turned the cameras off. Literally, as I pressed the button to turn the cameras off, the plate went under and I've hooked this. Shot off at quite a pace. Don't really want to go too mad because I've not got the biggest hook on in the world. But yeah, hooked something on the maggot. Still not yet to be convinced that it's hooked in the mouth, but we'll see. Went off at such a pace, like it was foul hooked in the side or something, but you just never know. Could be a nice tench. They do like to fly off once they get hooked. Could be a carp, could be anything. Definitely like a potential of carp, if nothing else. Could be an F1, but nothing else is powerful. It's a carpy. It's a carpy. Nice. Let's come to that maggot as well. Trying to not get my hook broken by this fish. There's another little, what, 3-pounder. Lots of these sort of 3 or 4 pound fish. I'm going to give him 3. I think it was 3.5, but I'll give him 3 because I've given off quite a few 3.5. There's 4. That's another one in the bag. And having a little experiment with these maggots seems to have paid off. Well then guys, that's it, the match is over. I didn't do much more updating after a while. The wind has caused havoc with me today and blown my pole off my rollers and broken it. So yet again I've broken more pole sections. Having the worst run of pole section breakages in the history of mankind. I think I've got 32 on my clicker, but I think I'll be lucky if I've got 30, to be honest. The car, I think that I was overestimating them, so if I've got 30 I might just have 30. Fellow next to me reckons he's got 30. Gary down on Peg 9 reckons he's got 30. So they've probably both got more than me because people underestimate usually. The guy on Peg 5's caught a lot of fish. I don't know who else has caught a lot of fish. I think it's been really, really hard. Last 2 hours has cost me, and an hour and a half to go I was fishing out there, and then I was just putting maggot down where I'd caught the carp, and I was picking up odd fish. I'd caught on the pellet and I was picking up odd fish, and I came off it and to come short down here. I just didn't catch, and then I went down the edge and I just didn't catch. And, that was just a bad mistake. If I'd have just sat out here and done another 10 pounder fish, the 40 pound, it probably would have done me a whole lot more chance of picking up money than trying to come short and be a hero. So there we are. Blew that, but that's things learnt for Saturday. Catch you soon.